Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and others. It is your boy Kuro, and today I am bringing you yet another build video, as well as some outnumbered fights and commentary. You know, my typical shtick. You know how we do around here. This one is for my Stam DK, the slammy boy himself. Let me tell you right now, this build is so much fun to play. All right. It's super tanky, it deals big damage, and it heals like an absolute monster. Definitely one of my favorite builds to play this patch. But before we take a look at it, before we dive on in, I do have just a few things that I want to say to you guys, alright? First and foremost, I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day. And if not, I hope this video does manage to bring you some kind of joy, because unfortunately the world is just so much uglier without your smile. And if you want to make me smile, consider dropping a like, maybe subbing, leaving a comment, and hitting that bell button, because you do not want to miss a video, okay? I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come through, alright? Where's my notification squad at? If you want to see me play this build, test new builds, and play tons of other characters live, you can join me over at twitch.tv/KuroyukiESO, where I do stream just about every day with a somewhat turbulent schedule at the moment. But I am over there all the time, constantly. Come hang out, let's vibe, okay? I do also have a Discord that you could join if you're feeling frisky for sneak peeks, updates, or even just a chat with ESO players from all over the place, different platforms, different kinds of content. We have everybody, alright? We do everything over there. So if you want to hang out with some cool dudes, you can join the Discord. Lastly, if you want to support me and my content on a more direct level and help make sure that I am able to continue bringing you guys content as consistently and as much quality as I possibly can, you can head on over to my Patreon page and consider sending some love my way. All the links for everything I just mentioned is down in the description and the pinned comment of this video. And so now, without any further ado, no more shenanigans, no more fuckery, let's go ahead and dive right on in to this DK build. Let's go. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right on in real quick. We're going to get in combat so we can proc up all of our good stuff. Weapon damage goes up to 61.5k, or 61,500. Very nice weapon damage value for a sword and board bar, if I do say so myself. We get over 30k armor when our blood spawn procs. Very nice amount of armor. 1700 crit resist, which is plenty in my opinion. Where did my stam recov go? We have 1200 stamina recovery, which isn't a lot to some people, but you can get more if you want it. I feel very comfortable with it because we do sustain through a lot of other means on this build. 31.6k max stam, 32k max health, 19k max mag. If you want more, you can mix some enchants around, you can mix some attributes around, but I'm pretty comfortable with this. This is on a Nord. If you do not want to play Nord, the only other race I would actually recommend on this build, I suppose two. You could use Argonian on this build and it'd work pretty well, I think, for sustain reasons, for healing reasons, all that good stuff. But the other race, which might be slightly better than Nord, is Imperial. Imperial is really good, gives you a lot of health, gives you the cost reduction, because we do shit out a lot of magic abilities on here as well as stamina abilities, so that overall cost reduction is quite nice. But I like Nord. Makes you tankier with the armor, gives you more ultimate generation, and you get to look cool, because Nords are pretty badass looking. Okay, so I'm using Bewitched Sugar Skulls as my food. We'll talk about that later. And then I'm using Warrior as my Mundus Stone. If you want to change anything about this build, the first change I'd recommend would be changing your Mundus Stone from the Warrior to something else. If you feel like you're not tanky enough, change Warrior to the Lady for 2700 more armor, which is quite a big difference. It's very noticeable. You become a lot tankier from that simple little change. If you feel like your sustain isn't high enough, go with the Serpent Stone. I feel like I am tanky enough right now, and I can sustain well enough without either of those, so I went with weapon damage. If you can sustain without it, if you feel tanky enough, go weapon damage. Otherwise, Lady, Serpent, both very good options. I'm a vampire, stage 3 vampire, so that way we can get the undeath passive, become tankier, lower our health gets. Super nice. It does make our sustain a little shit, but that's why you'd use, reduce cost, baby. It's pretty nice. But it's honestly not that big of a deal, okay? The 8% cost increase is something, but it's not everything, okay? we still have plenty of sustain. It's not that big of a deal. And what we get out of it is pretty worth it, in my opinion. That does it for the stats. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gear here. I'm using a Clever Alchemist Maul, Nirnhoned with a weapon damage enchant on my 2H bar here. Sharpened will be better. I just happen to have it in Nirnhoned, so that is what it is. If you don't know what Clever does, it gives us max health, weapon damage, spell damage, and then when you drink a potion, you get a big boost to your weapon damage and spell damage numbers right there. Very, very nice and sweet and sexy. Just gotta remember to pop your potions on your 2H bar. Can be a bit of a pain in the ass, considering you usually want to pop your potion while you're blocking or something on your sword and board bar, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad. On the sword and board bar, we have Daedric Trickery. I have a Nirnhoned sword and a sturdy shield. If you want to push out more damage consistently, you can make this sharpened as well. I do actually have a sharpened one on me. I lied to you, it's in the bank, but I do have one. But I've been liking the Nirnhoned better because it gives us more heals and bigger tooltips, which look better on YouTube videos. So that's why we do that. If you don't know what Trickery does, gives us max health, max stam, max mag, and then a rotating buffs. Protection for damage reduction, Expedition for some legs because we're kind of slow, Mending and Vitality for big boy heals, and Heroism, which lets us shit out ultimates at subsonic speeds. With Nord and Major Heroism and Bloodspawn, which we are using right here, we get a lot of ultimate generation. So we can use that for offense, we can use that for defense, and since we're on a Nord, we use that for sustain. On the sword and board, I do use the Drain Health Poisons, the Double Dot, Double Hot. These do good damage, quick little burst damage when they proc, as well as give us back some health, which is very nice. Just adding in more health, to more healing to make us a little tankier. Feels nice and good. If you don't want to use the poisons, what enchant I would suggest on this would probably be poison damage, because the poison damage will occasionally, if it procs the status effect on somebody, it's pretty nice. But we do get the poison status effect from Claw, so if not poison, then disease for a little bit of defile. Both of those are pretty strong. Talking about the Bloodspawn again, we're using Bloodspawn because it gives us armor for tankiness, it gives us some sustain through the ultimate generation, and the recovery, and it's just an all-around really good set for DK. If you don't want to use Bloodspawn though, you can use Balorg for even more damage. You can use some other defensive set. It doesn't really matter what you want to use in your monster set, these patches I've found, but I like Bloodspawn. It fits in real good. When it comes to what your gear is, like where the pieces are, it's not a real big deal since Clever and Trickery are both crafted sets, so just fit them in where you want to. There's just a few things that I want to point out that are very important. I do have 2 medium on the hands and the waist, and then you want to make sure you have 3 Trickery at all times, and then 2 on the sword and board. And when it comes to your Clever Alchemist, that is where you have an option. You either have 4 Clever active at all times, so that way you can get the weapon damage bonus from the 4-piece on both bars, or you have 3 active at all times with the 2H, and then you work in a piece of trainee somewhere. That is up to you. If you want more health and a little bit less damage, do that. It's great, it works. You get up to just about 34k HP, so that's a little more tankiness at the cost of a little bit of damage. When it comes to traits, you want a reinforced heavy chest. You want 1, 2, 3 impenetrable, just to lessen the damage from Nightblade and sword crits, bombers, all that. You want them to do just a little less damage. And then we do have 3 sturdy as well, plus the shield for 4 sturdy to reduce our block cost by a good sum. When it comes to jewelry, we do have 3 infused, 2 weapon damage, 1 reduced cost, and we are using the Malakath's Band of Brutality. Obviously, this is a pretty dot-focused build, so the Malakath does fit in quite well. We're also in heavy armor, and we don't really have any crit rate, so this just helps give us consistent damage, even without critting. So I'm a big fan of it. Even still, it makes our big tooltips hit for even bigger, without having to worry about randomness with crit. And yeah, when it comes to enchants, for the armor, I have 2 triglyphs on 2 of the big pieces, then everything else is stamina. You can mix it up, add more triglyphs if you want more health. If you feel comfortable, you can just do what I've done. That's really up to you. And that does it for the gear. Let's look at the skills. We're going to start on our sword and board bar, so I feel like that's pretty important. Resolving Vigor, this is our main heal. When it comes to healing on this build, and pretty much any DK, one of the number one things you want to keep in mind is that Vigor is always your go-to heal. This is your first thought when you are in danger. You want to use this before any other heal on your bar at all times because you want to be taking in more health while you are going through your healing rotation. This is absolutely imperative to use this first, except in very, very specific situations. If you were at like 5% health, Green Dragon Blood is what you want to do, okay? This heals you based on a percentage of your missing health. It says 36%. Sometimes it says 46%. I don't know what that's all about. It likes to hop all over the damn place. But 36% is still quite a lot. If you were at very, very, very low HP, if you're at like 10% HP, popping one of these, you can get a good 6, 7, 8k heal. It could crit. I've seen them hit me for 11k, and it'll get you out of the red zone. Then you Vigor. Okay? That's the go-to. I use Green Dragon Blood for the heal as well as the buffs. It gives us our 30% stamina recovery buff, which we do get from potions, but sometimes you just, you're not using your potion yet because you're holding on to it for something, or, there may be a reason you haven't used your pot. This will make sure you always have your stamina recovery buff, which is very helpful. And it also gives us minor vitality for an extra 8% healing taken. So that's 8% more from Green Dragon Blood, that's 8% more from Vigor, 8% more from our little Cauterize over here. It's very helpful. It increases our healing from our potion, increases healing from using our ultimates even, all sorts of stuff. So it's nice to have that little bit of extra guaranteed healing. We do have the major vitality and the major mending from our set as well. So that's how much? 32, 40% healing from just those things, another 12% from DK passives, another 10% from our CP, another 5% from wearing 5 heavy armor. So there's a lot of healing on this build. I'm using Fossilize as my stun. This goes through block, this goes through dodge roll, and it roots people, so it's pretty annoying, very good at managing an opponent's stam, and it's good for catching someone that's trying to like roll away like a Nightblade. You slap and bring them down to low health, they're going to start rolling, they're going to start spamming dodge roll. Hit them with this thing, then you can hit them with the quick execute, bar swap, cancel this thing to your other bar, execute their fucking skull. It's very nice, very nice. And it also procs our 10% weapon damage thing on DK. It's the only way we're getting it, so I do make sure that I fossilize someone pretty frequently, even if I'm just kiting people. Like if there's 4 or 5 people on me, I'm just gonna make sure I fossilize somebody intermittently so I can get that buff. Cauterize, I mentioned this earlier. This is a very, very good skill. It heals for quite a bit. We don't have all of our healing available, but with just this stuff, 44 on the heal, which is pretty good. We do get, major mending, major vitality. We can get more weapon damage with Clever Alchemist, then it'll heal for more. We get more weapon damage with our enchant, will heal more, 5,000 right there. I still don't have mending or vitality, so it'll go up it'll be quite a bit in combat. It'll go up a lot higher, and you'll see some pretty fat 7-8Ks, and they're very nice. I don't know what just happened. I can hear it, but I didn't see that. But yeah. So Cauterize, very good skill. It also gives us Spell Critical. Yeah, Spell Critical, which can make our Cauterize crit more often and our Green Dragon Blood crit more often, which is a pretty nice little bonus. And that's it for the healing kit. We got these 3. If you are in a really bad situation, you want to make sure that your Green Dragon Blood is up for the healing bonus. Vigor, then Cauterize. Alright, if you're about to die, Green Dragon Blood, Vigor, Cauterize. If your Green Dragon Blood is already up and you are not at like 2% HP, you just Vigor, Cauterize. That's it. That's it. Cauterize is a little bit of a burst heal, so it can get you out of a bad situation pretty quick. If your health is not below about 50%, I wouldn't bother using Green Dragon Blood as your go-to burst heal. So below 50%, maybe even below more like 40 or 30%. Green Dragon Blood is what you want to do. If you're above that, Cauterize is what you want to do. So just mix them all together, learn when is the most effective to use what, and always remember that Vigor is number 1. Then we have Power Slam. This thing gets a really nice fat tooltip. Let's just go ahead and buff it up real quick. Hello guys, how are we? Everybody doing good? This goes up to 14k with just our typical buffs, and when we block, we do actually get little stacks down there. You can see them. Oh, that's building fast. I like that. I like that quite a lot. So we can get that up to just about 19k. It goes over 19k. I only had 9 stacks, not 10. So the good thing about this is that when you're blocking people, you're getting extra damage, and you can block cast Power Slam. So while they are doing damage to you, and while you are not taking very much damage because you are blocking, you can absolutely fucking rip their teeth out of their mouth and shove them back into their own forehead. It's very helpful. Power Slam, some people meme it. They don't think it's that great. I love this skill, okay? It's the hardest hitting spammable you can get on a sword and board bar. It hits harder than Poop Rock. Where's Poop Rock? Do I have Poop Rock? 9.3k, 10.4k. Fantastic. It hits much harder than the alternative, which is the low slash. Some people use this thing still to this day. It's not that great anymore. It really sucks. And it's incredible. It's honestly such a fun such a fun ability to use, and I love it. And it combos pretty well with Spell Wall. Spell Wall. This is my backbar ultimate of choice at all times with a sword and board because it's fantastic. It's pretty cheap. Okay, not really. It's kind of pricey, but it is what it is. It's a good ultimate. Makes you block everything coming in, and when this ultimate is up, everything that you block charges your Power Slam. So it's a pretty good mixture for offense and defense when you're using Power Slam. And it protects you from a lot of shit. So yeah, that's the back bar. Well, front bar, back bar, I don't know. It's very, very bar swap heavy on this build. I don't know if I'd call either one the front or back bar. Onto the 2H bar, we're using 4 momentum. This gets us out of snares and immobilizations for 4 seconds, as well as gives us another stamina recovery buff and a weapon damage buff. So more damage, more sustain, and freedom of mobility. Very important skill. Noxious Breath, AoE, armor debuff, and dot. Absolutely essential to the DK kit. Change my mind, you won't. Volatile armor, you could use either morph. I like this one because it's an extra dot, and it can pull Night Blades out of stealth, so that's why I use this one. The other one is good, the shield is nice, but I feel like extra damage is always better. Executioner, to crack the skulls of those who have fallen onto their ass at low health. And Venomous Claw, this is our strongest single target dot, hits incredibly hard, also applies poison status effect for additional dot, and when we apply poison status effect, we get 500 stamina back. So this skill essentially costs 1260 for an absolutely incredible dot. Now when it comes to my ultimate, there's 3 choices for your ultimate, and I use all 3 of them. I mix it up depending on how I'm feeling that day. Typically, people are going to use Take Flight, and that's understandable. Take Flight hits really, really hard. It's a gap close, it's a stun, and it just looks fucking sexy. So Take Flight, definitely a good choice. However, if you're playing an IC, Take Flight doesn't really work. It just about never works in IC right now, and I don't know why. So I also like to swap in Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Dawnbreaker of Smiting, I feel like, is arguably a better ultimate than Take Flight to begin with, because it does a lot more damage. The initial hit doesn't hit quite as hard, and you do miss this thing a lot, but the dot that follows it is nasty. I've seen like 3k dot ticks from this thing on people, and it's really nice. Not to mention the fact that lots of people are running Vampire right now, so that increases the initial hit by about 20%, the dots by 20%, and it becomes an absolute danger to vampires and werewolves. So if you've got, like on this build, you see the werewolf, see the werewolf head right there? You see the wolf head? That's because this is a fucking, this build is a wolf slayer. We got poison out the wazoo, and we got Dawnbreaker and Smiting sometimes absolutely fucks werewolves in the butthole and sends them home crying. It's fantastic. But my last choice, and personally this has been my favorite recently, Corrosive Armor. Okay, this thing costs quite a shitload, but what it does is it limits all incoming damage to 3% of our max health, which makes you very tanky for the 10 seconds that this is up. It gives us an AoE poison dot, which isn't a big massive dot, but I feel, what the heck? What's going on there? Let's buff it up. I'm not familiar with how high the poison dot gets on that thing. Let's just take a peek. 1.7k, per second AoE, pretty okay. And it also gives us 100% armor penetration. So it takes our power slams from kinda tough to damn. So 11k there, 12k there, well, you know, I don't think he had much armor to begin with, but either way, it makes you deal a lot more damage, and especially in this pariah meta that we're in right now, where everyone is stacking 35k or more armor, this goes through all of it. So tanky targets, this absolutely fucking rips their teeth out of their mouth, especially with the fact that this thing tooltip's so high. That's why I'm sticking with Nirnhoned, because the higher we build this tooltip, the more we actually get out of using corrosive. So those are the three options: corrosive, take flight, dawnbreaker with smiting. If you wanted to, if you're in a group even, you can put corrosive on the sword and board bar and then your offensive ultimate of choice on this bar. But solo, you 110% want spell wall at all times, because it's cheap and it's extremely effective at keeping you not dead. So yeah. Now let's talk about CP real quick. First, we will talk about the slottables. Slottable number 1, focus mending. This is all of our heals. It buffs all of our heals. You want it, okay? Not a choice. You use it. Unassailable. I use this one. This is the AoE damage reduction. All the big shit that hurts you and kills you in Cyrodiil is AoE. Or PvP in general. Not even just Cyrodiil, but PvP. It's AoE, okay? Aside from that, you can deal with things like Nightblades who are using surprise attack. You can block that, you can dodge that. You know what you can't fucking block? You know what you can't block? I'm waiting. You can't block a Destro ultimate, okay? The most ridiculous shit in the world. You can't block a Destro ultimate, but this will reduce that damage by 10%. You can't dodge roll a bomb. This will reduce that damage by 10%. Wardens, Dawnbreakers, Leaps, 10% reduction right here. So this is why I prefer this one over the single target. Then for the damage, I'm using 2. We're using single target damage, so this is our light attacks, our bashes, our power slams, our executes, all that, as well as your dots. This buffs up your dots as well, okay? The way the game calculates a dot that you actually apply to somebody is they calculate that as single target, so this buffs your claw and the noxious breath. And we also have the direct damage. So again, light attacks for using Dawnbreaker or Take Flight, it'll buff that at the initial hit. This buffs our power slam, our execute, again, all that fun stuff. And it even buffs the initial hit of things like a noxious breath. So if you pop a corrosive armor and you start spamming noxious breath on people, you can hit 4 or 5 people with noxious breath and bring all their health down pretty low, because it's going to go through all their armor. Very nice little secret tips. Other important CP in here, you just kind of want all of this right side in the purple here for the extra damage, status effects, penetration. Extra stamina, always nice. In here we have 20 points for some extra healing. In here we have all of these. Just grab them all. The more you can get, the better. But just focus the stuff that's going to get you to your blue slottables. Over in the red, again, we'll talk about slottables first. Boundless Vitality for 1,400 health. The more health, the better. Juggernaut, this gives us 10% damage reduction when we are CC immune, which is probably 80% of the time that you're fighting outnumbered, because they're going to stun you on cooldown. So this is basically just about 100% uptime on 10% damage reduction. Very nice. Survival Instincts. This is probably the most important of the red CP, I'd say. While you are afflicted with a status effect, your core combat skills cost 25% less. Core combat skills, that's our dodge roll, our sprint, our break free, and most importantly, our block. So if you've got 7 motherfuckers curb stomping you, jumping your ass, and you are constantly being afflicted with status effects, you can block just about unendingly. It's fantastic. 100% must have on any block build, Survival Instincts. And then Rejuvenation. This one is a bit of a flex. If you're going to sub in the Recovery Mundus, I'd say drop this and pick up Ironclad for more armor. That'll give you more sustain on your stam and more armor at the same time. So if you're dropping the weapon damage Mundus, changing this to this, that gives you more sustain and more tanky at the cost of a little bit of damage. So definitely a good option to check out. Important passives. Red has important passives. You want the health. That's whatever. Reduce roll dodge cost, it's whatever. You do want to definitely make sure you get reduced break free, and then everything over here, all this stuff is important on a block build. This could have been a fantastic passive. It used to be like 600 damage before the CP came out, but then they nerfed it to 120. It's absolutely pathetic, but I still like to use it because I bash weave quite a lot. But these 4 specifically, you want these 4. These all help your block. And I think that's about it. These, you know, you can get them all. You can get all the damn passives, okay? There's so much CP. But just focus those if you're lower CP. And yeah, that's it. When it comes to potions, same thing as I usually say. Where in the hell are my potions? Tripods, you want to use these. They keep all of your resources high. You know, that gives you back stamina, magicka, and health. We do use a lot of magicka abilities on this build, so they're very helpful. And then stamina, health, and movability potions. These are fantastic to combo with our Clever Alchemist. If you have an ultimate ready, and you pop an immovability potion with your Clever Alchemist, then you get a lot of damage. You get that 10% damage reduction from being CC immune, and you get 10 seconds to just fucking go ham, you know, just start mollywopping people, because you cannot be stunned. You cannot be stopped for 10 seconds, and it's pretty good, especially if you're using corrosive armor, because then you're just a fucking freight train. You can't be killed because you're tanky as shit. You can't be stunned because you got this going, and you just ripped people's armor. So you start hitting with like 7k, 8k power slams, maybe even more. I think I've hit a 9k before in corrosive, and you feel like a Nightblade. It's pretty fun. And lastly, as always, you do want some form of detection potion, because Nightblades are annoying. When it comes to food, Bewitched Sugar Skulls, obviously the king. But there's also the option to use Artaeum Takeaway Broth. I don't have any on me, but if you feel like your stam sustain is rough, even after doing something like swapping in Recovery Mundus, you can check that out, and it'll help your stam sustain a little bit more. And I believe that is it. That's it for the skills, that's it for the gear, that's it for the CP, that's it for the build in general. We've done it. We completed that part of the video, the important part, the one that people come for. So now, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to look at some PvP clips, alright? We're going to look at some clips of me eradicating bloodlines and entire families on this build. We're going to talk about them. We're going to enjoy them, crack a couple jokes, and we're just going to have some fun, okay? So if you're here for it, man, if you're down for that, you stick around, because we're about to do that right now. Otherwise, if the build is all you wanted, you have a great day, okay? I love you. Bye-bye. See you in the clips if you're staying. Let's hop on over right now. Alright, first clip. This one's kind of a meme. I was streaming, and someone redeemed my thing that I have to kill somebody in first person. I ended up getting a nice little clip in first person instead. So this clip is entirely in first person. I apologize. If you feel sick afterwards, don't blame me. Blame them, okay? It's not my fault. It's entirely their fault. So, as you can see, I'm running around the sewers like a dirty little rat when a bunch of dudes who are up to no good run up to me, and they start trying to twist my titties. Alright, it's rude. It's rude. I don't know why they would want to twist my titties, but joke's on them. I'm going to twist their titties instead. So we're going to go here into this little room, nice and tightly compact, keep everyone nice and, you know, condensed. We're going to go ahead and set our sights on this vampire. Going to go ahead and slap her around a little bit, see what kind of damage we can do. They're not healing themselves, which is always a good thing. We're going to go in here, stun them real quick, pop them in the back of the noodle with a power slam, almost kill them instantly with the poison proc and the execute. They are done. We send them to Sovereign Guard. Now next, we're going to go ahead and make sure we get our dots down on everyone here. Got the Noxious Breath, going to claw this guy. He's already at low health, so we're going to hit him with the Big Boy Dawnbreaker right here. Almost kill him, but Phoenix saves his life. Like a phoenix, he's reborn from the ashes, and all these fucking heals from the chicken sort almost made me tear my hair out, but we did put him down in the end. Now we're just going to chase this guy. We're going to run at him with screaming fucking bloody murder. Let bring your ass here, boy. Dot him up. Stun him real quick. Pop him with the power slam. He almost dies. Don't get the execute, but it's okay. He doesn't heal from the dots, and it's over. That is the end of the first clip. Going on to clip number 2 here, we are still running around the sewers, dueling this DK here when a bunch of dudes come around the corner. I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to go ahead and get myself some distance because I don't know how many are about to come around the corner. Get stunned right there, meteor on me. We're going to hold block. We're going to pop the sword and board ult so we don't die. We're going to go ahead and use the speed Daedric Trickery has gifted us with from the gods, with our full momentum to zoom the fuck out of there. Now we're going to go over here, which is a nice big open area. Not exactly ideal for outnumbered fights, but there is a lot of good line of sight in this room that I can use if I need it. So that's where I decide I'm going to fight them. The DK here just decides to let me do my thing, which is, you know, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. We're going to go ahead and debuff the whole group. Try to Dawnbreaker the Nightblade. Unfortunately, I do miss. We did hit this guy who doesn't do anything to heal himself, and he does catch the power slam to the nose and dies. This guy, this tank right here, decides he's gonna try to res bot, but his friend's like, nah, fuck it, I don't even want to fight this anymore. I'm just gonna leave, and he respawns, which is fantastic. And we're gonna try to get rid of the Nightblade. Almost kill him there with the executes, but he's catching chicken heals while he goes and runs away in stealth, hiding in the shadows like a fucking Apache, ready to come out and scalp me at any moment, which is always annoying. We do get him with the Dawnbreaker. Almost finish him off with the XQ, but we do get stunned yet again. Very, very annoying, but we will get him. Okay, there he is. He's come out of stealth. And hit him with a big execute right there. He's on the ground. It's over. No more bomber in sight. Now it's just me, this Sork, and this tank. We're going to go ahead and get the dots up on the Sork. Heal ourselves. Make sure we don't die real quick. Get all my buffs up. There we go. We're nice and buffed. I didn't Vigor. I'm an idiot. I should have Vigored a long time ago. There's the Vigor. Now we're going to go ahead and hit this guy with a Dawnbreaker. He's on his ass. Crack his skull real quick. Easy peasy. Bop his noodle. He's done for. Now it's just me and this tank. At this point, I get a little disheartened because it's a tank. He's a Necro. He's got 50k HP. I'm very disappointed that that is what I have to fight for the final enemy in this clip, because I was like, man, this could have been a nice clip. But now I'm just going to sit here and not kill this guy. And that makes me really sad on the inside. But then he makes a mistake. Boy, he makes the biggest mistake he's ever made in his entire life. He goes wolf form. Okay? We are a werewolf hunter right now. We have Dawnbreaker. We've got poison damage out the wazoo. And he doesn't even know how fucked he is yet, okay? Absolutely the worst mistake you've ever made in your life. So we're just going to go ahead and keep our health up. We're going to make sure we keep our dots up, cycle the damage, you know, make sure he's still feeling the pressure so he's not just fucking damaging us with no issues here. Bop him in the nose with a power slam, big boy Dawnbreaker, couple of executes. He dodge rolls, not fast enough. Crack his skull, send him to the afterlife. That's the end of clip 2. Alright. Clip number 3. This one is quite a long one. If you saw my last DK video, you already know that half the experience of Imperial City is sitting in loading screens, so I made sure to include one just to make sure you guys didn't feel left out, you know? We load in, come on down here, and there's a group of blues just doing their thing, alright? This is a corrosive armor clip. This is one of the reasons I love corrosive armor. It's a really, really good 1vx ultimate because it gives us tankiness, gives us damage, and gives us back a shit ton of resources too. So we go ahead and pop the corrosive, try to put this guy down, debuff him real quick, dot him up, pop him in the noodle with a power slam there for 6.2k. That's pretty nice, pretty good. Try to power slam this guy, but the game's not really working in my favor. So I go ahead and just fucking disengage there, try to make sure to bash that res, but the dude ended up respawning anyway because they do own this district. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some distance, try to pull them into a tighter area with more line of sight, because I am actually taking quite a lot of damage from a lot of different sources, and I don't want to take burst all at once. I do see this guy just kind of goes into stealth like a weirdo, so we're going to go ahead and put the dots on him, pop him in the back of the head, one big boy power slam, dot tick finishes him off, and now we are on the back foot. So we're going to pop the corrosive real quick. We're going to start spamming the noxious breaths with the corrosive up, so that way we get armor debuff on the entire group. We get 2 kills with that move. Easy, not hard at all. Very easy game, easy life. It's over. I try to jump over this thing right here, but I do catch a Dawnbreaker right in my asshole at the very worst time possible. This dude's hanging out at low health, and he realizes that's a bad idea, so he disengages real quick. We go ahead and get the sword and board ult up to give myself a nice little offensive window here. Stun this guy, power slam, dots finish him off. Now we're going to head over to the safe zone here because a lot of ass is on me right now, okay? They're shaking their asses in my face, and I'm a white boy, okay? I can't handle all that ass. So we're going to go ahead and buff back up, make sure we are nice and protected, make sure we have heals and stuff. One of my problems here is I've actually been using the wrong pots this whole fight, and that's not helping my sustain. So that's why my sustain in this fucking clip has been so dog dick. but it is what it is. We all make mistakes, okay? I'm taking a lot of damage. Again, kiting. We're going to pop the sword and board ult right here. I don't even realize how much ultimate I have, because I could have popped a corrosive right here, and that would have been a total OG move, but it's alright, because I do think we get enough pressure here into the group with our sword and board and being able to go full offense. I do see a big AoE circle coming my way. I don't like that. I never like that, so we're just going to kite away. And like absolute cowards, they disengage. Like, what the fuck, guys? You were just zerging me down a second ago, and now you're just going to run away? So, no, we don't allow that. We're going to go chase them down, alright? I see, what, 4 of them right now? And they don't seem too terribly interested in me. This guy breaks off from the pack, and I see this sword carry. I'm like, oh, this guy seems like he's the most useful one in the group, so we're going to try to kill him. He's actually quite a tanky son of a bitch, so I end up just giving up on him and just letting him go, and I don't really want to waste all my resources fighting someone who's just not going to die. So we're going to go ahead and head back over here where I know there are a couple of squishy guys still hanging out, and what do you know, there's one right here, just doing a heavy attack like a weirdo. I'm going to go ahead and dot him up real quick. He's going to streak through me several times and just kind of save his own life, and that's annoying. I hate sorcerers, but it is what it is. I'll live with it. I'll learn to deal with it. You know, gotta improvise, adapt, overcome. Now there is another sorcerer. This sorcerer's got a lot more balls than the other one because he is all up in my shit, and he is going to learn that is not a good idea real quick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get up the vigor for an offense here. Go ahead and dot him up. He's at low health. Stun him. Execute. He doesn't get away. This guy, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. He's just kind of standing there like a weirdo. Stun him, power slam, another power slam, put him in the dirt. Easy 3k stones right there. Now, I see one that I think is questing. Kind of an asshole move. We're going to go ahead and kill him too, just to feed my ego. And lastly, we do see another Necro here. Going to go ahead and debuff him, dot him up. Heavy attack. Power slams. Power slam. Execute. That's it. That's the end of the third fight. Game over. We win, baby. And yeah, that does it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked it. If you like the build, if you're going to give it a try, let me know, because I'd like to see more people slamming. Alright, this Power Slam gang needs to represent. I don't really have anything else to say to you guys. Just have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the support. I love you all very much. Mwah. Bye-bye. Your boy Kuro out.
You get me to the altar.